everyone, this is Mike Gordon. Welcome back to my perfect playthrough of Final Fantasy VI Advance. And we are very much near the end of this run right here. I went off screen and grinded X Ethers and Dragon Horns down in the, during the Lava Labyrinth. And I maxed out Shadow's level, and specifically his strength and speed, and put a few points in magic for reserve. And yep, and just to further prove my point, Shadow does not know any magic. So with all out of the way, let's continue. And today we are actually going to wrap up the Dragon's Den. Yeah, I didn't think I had enough footage to take on these entire mega dungeon in one rest of this mega dungeon in one episode. Alright. So yeah, this dragon is actually very easy to miss, and you know, for first timers, it's very easy to get stuck in this part, so. But you want to go there so you could flip the switch and then battle the dragon nearby. See, that dragon's locked behind a locked door. Now he's free. Alright. And this is basically the last of the easy dragons. As I said last time, and here's a new encounter for us. As I said last time, the white dragon, there's like 4 white dragons that you have to fight and kill all at the same time, overlaid on top of one another. The storm dragon has maxed out evasion, magic evasion. And earth dragon, I don't know their good. I don't even know blue dragon skin, Nick. That's how easy the first 4 dragons are. So I think only 1 or 2 more hits should do it. Alright, there we go. There was absolutely no pretense whatsoever. Oh, and by the way, I found out that you can actually steal stone blades and Masamune's here, but it's not as efficient as in Kefka's Tower. You only get 1 encounter against these 2 enemies, and they share the same spot. So yeah, if you want to grind for those 2 weapons, I suggest going to Kefka's Tower instead. Okay, I have not seen any of these passageways with the blue dragon. But that's okay, we will actually see those. Those will be relevant in due time. Unfortunately, that seal is there, and so is this one. Seal of Fire, huh? Guess we need to go back at some point. Anyways, I was basically farting around for a while, but there's still 1 more encounter I want to pick up. And there it is. I believe Death Riders can be found more commonly in other locations, but really, I'm just trying to save myself the trouble, so I'm just going to grab them now. By the way, this room is called the Dragon Temple. So, just be warned. The previous area is the Earth Labyrinth, and the basement below it is the Lava Labyrinth. By the way, I decided I'm going to just backtrack all the way to the start, because this is the one passageway that we actually saw. And now we can enter it because we defeated the sorry. Because we defeated the blue dragon. And these two items are very easy to forget about because they involves going all the way back to the beginning. So, yeah, going back so I don't have to forget about them. And here we are. We are at the Flame. What is it? The Flamelit Cave? I think it's the Flame Cavern because it's not much of a labyrinth. Anyways, here's the first new enemy. It is somewhat ideal for stealing high ethers. I think if you set up give a character like Locke or Shadow the Thieves Knife, and then berserk them, you can basically steal them from the higher level magic enemies from the Cultist Tower. Or you can just wait until or you can at least wait until you reach the Soul Shrine and grind the high ethers that way. But don't worry, I'm going to take care of the high ether grinding off screen. You can also get rare dragon horn steals from dragon avises, but I already maxed out on those. Anyways, here's the red dragon. And the red dragon is completely invincible. You know, you can't deal any damage, so all you have to do is stall this guy out until it dies. Fortunately, he has a ton of instant KO moves. So do be careful. And when he's about ready to die, he will close off with Ultima and Flare usages. But yes, this is definitely a battle of endurance, and it does take as long as it is. You know, it is as long as you think it is. And worse yet, we have to rematch this fucker along with all the other elemental dragons in both their original and redux forms in the Soul Shrine. Alright, so I just have to stall this guy out for who knows how long. Now, is there a fast way to deal with this guy? And the answer is yes. Use slots. Use slots and manipulate Joker Death with the Echo Screen. And that will one-shot Red Dragon. It will also one-shot the next super boss as well, without having to go through the tedious nitty-gritty to take care of them. Unfortunately, the only places you can find more echo screens are in shops. You can't steal them or morph them or anything from other enemies. It's not as far as I know. By the way, this is proof that the red dragon is dead. Because he just used Ultima and Flare. Also, because of the Miracle Shoes, my whole part was able to survive the spell with plenty of health to spare. So keep that in mind when we enter the Soul Shrine. And we got Terra's and Celis's ultimate weapons right off the bat. Now which seals are to be opened? Okay, one at the Dragon Temple. We saw that one already. We have not seen this one before. But good to know that we opened the seal there. I guess that's it. But there is a secret passage for us to go through. And it contains a McElixir. So we are going to, skip our way back here. Oh, and here is our other new encounter in this room, that being the Dragon Aegis. As I said before, this is probably an ideal place to steal for this ideal enemy to steal dragon horns. However, I probably would not recommend using this run to grind for against Abaddons and Dragon Avises. Because there are better places where there are other chambers that are easier to access for the dragon horns that feature both Dragon Avis and Great Dragons. And there's a better place to go farm for high ethers. But I digress. Now I'm going to try to move Sabin all the way into this chamber. I just want to show off what's in it. You would face a Drake Divine searching between the molten pools. In the inner eye, is what the sign said, basically. So now I'm gonna bring Sabin all the way into this chamber. And I basically fooled around in here. Just to show off that, yep, we can't actually go any further than this, so... There we go. And now, Mog with his Malulu charm, we are going to... I keep making the same stupid mistake over and over again. Honestly, it would make more sense to label this a labyrinth. Alright, and I basically want Terra to move on because of the next upcoming boss. So, here you go, Mog. We are going to make our way to the next one, and this room is the Grand Cavern. And that's our first major enemy, the new enemy, and that's the Magic Dragon. There are two other enemies that are new in this room, that being the Hexa Dragon and the exceptionally rare Armadillo. God, the naming in this, God, the way how they choose the names for some of these new enemies, that does not roll off the tongue very easily. Armadillo. Anyways, here's the Hexa Dragon. That means we only need a 1 in 16 encounter, and then we're good. And I'm basically just trying to figure out, okay, where do we go? There was nothing in that room, so I'm skipping it. And we got the Knight, and we got a Celestiad. We don't have 99 of them yet, so, but we are on a good enough track. I'm guessing we are at like 55 or something. Alright, and yes, I purposely ran into that green guy so we fell into this basement here. I did that on purpose. Now, Armadillo is much more common in this room than it was up above. However, we are basically witnessing just how much of a pain in the butt this guy is. Actually, so is Death Rider. The Death Rider is also much more common in this room than he was back at the Dragon Temple. Also, Maximira and Crystal Dragon are also new encounters for us to face. And as far as I know, this is the only room in the game where you can find the Crystal Dragon, making it an extremely rare encounter. Probably the hardest encounter to run into in the whole dungeon. Alright, just trying to heal. So I'll just keep skipping these battles until I run into each of the new ones. So all that's left is the Crystal Dragon, and then I can just skip everything. Okay, we have to be wary of Stone Gaze. Good to know. I'll try to get as close as I possibly can to this boss. And I got petrified by Maximira in that off-screen battle, so I need to adjust my equips. I want to be able to one-shot this guy because this guy hits like a truck. A lot of these bosses hit... Wait, what? This room's called Cloister of Trials? You know, I was being really cute when I named this episode the Cloister of Trials, you know, in reference to Final Fantasy X, but I didn't expect that one of the rooms in this dungeon was the actual place called this. And for the record, this is not the most important part of this episode at all. This is a detour. Anyways, this is just how easy you can just wipe the floor of the Earth Eater when you put dual Ultima weapons with Master Scroll and Genji Glove. Unfortunately, you lose the ability to absorb elements, so I have to be very selective when I set Edgar up with such equipment. And I'm completely spacing out at this point. Don't forget to revert Edgar's equipment back to what's supposed to be. So Ultima, and I don't want him to equip with Genji, the Genji home. Alright, I'm just trying to make sure. And the math is like adding up all weird in my head. It's because I have two of the items. Two of the 9 items that are missing are already on my equipment. And I'm just trying to be careful here. And for the next one, I want to give Locke the Raiden Esper. Because Marbloro Menace will actually multiplies every time you kill one of them. And the only way to circumvent Marbloro Menace is the multiplying feature is to one-shot him with Raiden or Banish. Alright, so that's good. We took out another super boss from inside the Dragon's Den. And now we're going the other way so we can meet up with Gargantua. Gargantua, in stark contrast, is probably the easiest one. His defenses are supposed to be through the roof, but he has significantly less hit points than most of the other enemies here. Most of the other bosses in this room, so you just need to one-shot him with Ultima weapon, with Master Scroll Ultima weapon. As Master Scroll circumvents evasion, and ultimate weapon circumvents defenses. So I realized I was going the wrong way. I'm gonna go up here first to run into this boss here. And let's see if I need to adjust my equipments for Dark Behemoth. And the answer is no, because Banish will work just fine. So I just need to cast Banish on Dark Behemoth, and that'll be the end. Apparently Dark Behemoth is really, really, really tough, so... I'm basically just skipping the middleman altogether. The last boss in the Cloister of Trials is the Abyss Worm. By the way, I think this episode is basically going to be a copyright nightmare. And I'm doing the Master Scroll Genji Glove setup once more for Abyss Worm, so I can completely circumvent its AI script. Unfortunately, once you enter the Soul Shrine, you're basically taking your chances on whatever encounters pop up. And fortunately, those bosses are randomized in the Soul Shrine and are not mandatory encounters, except for the legendary dragons in their Redux editions. Those are still the only exceptions. Alright, I still have not encountered Crystal Dragon, so hopefully I'll run into him soon. And, yep. Looks like the winds of fate smiled comfortlessly on me today. Unfortunately, this guy... God damn it, Cyclonic. That basically means that Edgar and Terra here are going to be dealing ship damage. Now I only have one Master Scroll. So sorry about that, guys. And once again, Celis and Locke are the only ones who are blocking Cyclonic, so I'm not quite sure what the deal is here. Okay, good. Well, so that's all the enemies here. So I lucked out. I didn't need to do the whole back and forth thing to run into them. Alright, got my group here in. I just want to make sure Edgar's equipment setup is alright. And you step on the light, and just like in the Zone of Your Spell, you teleport out of there. And now to continue from where we left off. Come on, Sky. Come on, let's go. Okay, good. You want to go this way. And do not take the left path. The right path, I meant. The right path leads absolutely nowhere. Alright, we don't have access to this room. Seal Lightning. Okay. Spoiler alert, Seal Lightning is the final seal to break. And we got our last X Ether. That's good to know. And up here, we got the other annoying pain in the ass dragon, Redux Dragon alongside Red Dragon. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to give everybody ribbons because because this guy is the Skull Dragon is the death and poison elemental dragon. And is completely immune to damaging it, and just like Red Dragon, is completely immune to damaging attacks. You know, you can't hurt him in terms of hit points. And not even stuff like Arise or Kiraga do anything to him. So keep all that in mind. Now, I am basically set up my party specifically for this battle. Because my objective here is to rasp this guy to death, which basically means Lock is useless. Alright, first I want to have Terra, Edgar, and Celis just use Quick on themselves. And after that, you get 2 additional turns per turn to get twice the rasp. And there's the second rasp. And you have to literally drain all 15,000 hit points, or 50,000 magic points from Skull Dragon before it dies. Again, you can't hurt this guy through conventional means. Alright, go up. If you want to know why nothing seems to be happening when you use Quick like this, it's literally because nobody can move until the other person's turn is over. Quick effectively freezes other people's ATB gauges. Alright, so I'm just going to try to find my way back to Rasp. Rasp is the way to go because Osmose will actually recover his MP while draining yours. So Rasp is the only way to go for taking this guy out. I promise you, I'm gonna bring Go-Go with me to the Soul Shrine so I can completely circumvent this crap. Nobody should have to be subjected to overlong boss battles like that without good cause. And by the way, I am completely taking my chances with the broken copyright system on YouTube with this video. Because there's like 12 boss fights in this episode altogether. Let's see, 5, 13. No, there are 14 bosses in this episode. So even more than what I was projecting. Though the boss theme only plays 13 times. Okay, good. We took this guy out, finally. And we got Scorpion Tail, which is Go-Go's ultimate weapon. And something else happens. And we got a new set of stairs so we can completely circumvent that stupid green soldier thing. And we open up another seal in a room we have not been to. Well, we've been to it before, but we haven't actually seen what's in it. So I brought Terra all the way back to the beginning. And this is the Shrine of Repose. It's kind of similar to that room we were in before. However, we don't need to change our party members around. That's not needed. We brought Terra in there. Now we switch to Mog, actually. And this is literally where we passed by Terra, but we still need to give Mog another objective. But first, I'm going to continue on with Sabin. And this room is the Inner Eye Labyrinth. So remember that gravestone? We need to find 2 lava pools and check between the 2 of them. Because that's the Inner Eye. And here's a semi-hidden item, the Force Armor. And I basically was just farting around just to figure out, okay, where do I go? I'm basically just checking around for some hidden items. Alright, we have to push this 4-ton weight onto that switch there. I then realized that I probably need to go look for that other item. Here it is, the hidden X potion. So, you know, that's basically all the items in the Inner Eye Labyrinth. Now, I wasn't really in the right mind space in doing this. I had a lot of brain fog, so I'm just wandering around aimlessly. I knew there was some sort of switch I had to press, but I wasn't thinking clearly. So I brought Sabin onto this side. And now I'm gonna move Terra. You know, all 3 parties are once again unified into this single area. And now I'm gonna try and make my way to the Holy Palace. Is it the Holy Palace or the Holy Shrine? Let me see. Alright, I think it's the Holy Palace. And here's the Mage's Robe, the only new item here. Alright, it is the Holy Palace. In the Lava Labyrinth, it's called the Burning Labyrinth. My mistake. Okay, I remember to press that rock thing. Or open a switch. And here's the last new random encounter in the whole dungeon, the Shield Dragon. And those things are dangerous. Like, alongside the Crystal Dragon, these are probably some of the most dangerous random encounters in the whole dungeon. Now, luckily for us, the Holy Dragon's gimmick is that it's on auto regen and will always use Kirag on itself to count it for near max health every single time you damage him. So I'm going to eliminate the middleman altogether and just do the Master Scroll Genji Glove Ultima weapon on him. so I don't have to deal with Holy Dragon's Heavenly Aid. And it's so badass that it's producing absolutely no sound. But then again, here we are. And by the way, we are at 9. I believe we are at 98% BCRE with 263 items. Now, the fastest way to get to the last dragon is to simply teleport out of here. Everything else around it is just a ton of busy work. So yeah, I'm just gonna teleport out of this dungeon. And I'll be right back after a bit grinding. And here we are. I got 99 high ethers by grinding off the Abaddons. And I decided to just finish the grinding at the Cultist Tower by giving Locke a Thief Glove and Berserking Limb. So there you go. Now this turtle is really stupid because you have to motion him to approach you a bunch of times, then jump on him. Alright, we need to go this way. Previously there was, and we want to inspect each of these tombstones. Gons. Thek. Ingo. Efdra. Oh, it's King of Dragons. Yeah, the password is King of Dragons. And once again, we want to do the same thing for this guy. Now, this guy's gimmick is that he's basically has automatic runic on him at all times. So any magic spell he or anyone else does that cannot be runicked, that can be runicked, will be runicked by this guy. So really, all you have to do is just dual-wield Ultima weapons with the Master Scroll to hit him 8 times, and that will one-shot him before you have to deal with anything nasty. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. Holy and Gold Dragon Reduxes were pretty much designed to be the most difficult pain-in-the-ass enemies to fight. But once you know the strategy, they are piss easy. Actually, the same applies to the red and to all the other dragons except for the red skull dragons. The red dragon is a weight redux is just a waiting game, as I said before. And those remaining seals that are being deactivated either are there to actually help us plan our route out of this dump and straight into the Kaiser Dragon's lair. So, there aren't any super duper optional locations left for us. Alright, we want to put Edgar back to his Ultima weapon Paladin shield setup. And I want to use Mog as something of a marker to show off where to go. Alright, Deck. Alright, Ingo, Efdra, Gons. This King of Dragons. And that's supposed to be mirroring the Growth Egg puzzle. I'm gonna go in here. This is the Dragon's Temple Cloisters. Honestly, the fact that these 3 rooms are called the Dragon's Temple basically indicates how important this place is. Alright. In terms of the overall dungeon. And this is the treasure room. With those teleporters straight out of Final Fantasy 1. I'm gonna ignore these chests for now because 2 of them contain bosses. And I'm gonna switch all the way back to Terra's party. And I'm gonna use Mog again as a marker so I can just skip all the crap. Got a ribbon and a bone wrist. And here's our first monster in a box. That's Plague, which drops the Angel Brush, which is Realm's ultimate weapon. And there's really no trick. The gimmick with Plague is to beat this guy before the Doom counter hits 0, but really he doesn't have a lot of hit points. So just Master Scroll attack this guy, and then you win. At least provided you have Ultima weapon equipped. And there you go. Unfortunately, this next boss takes a bit more preparation. And, I mean, yeah, you don't really need to do anything too fancy. But I'm gonna have Locke use Summon Golem in this battle. Just interesting, I believe this is... I have barely used any summons this whole game. So Golem and the like are going to prove to be very, very useful. Golem basically blocks physical attacks, which is why I summoned him. Because when you Master Scroll attack, there's a chance that he'll attack the shell, and the shell counterattack with Megaton Press. I want to deal as much damage to this guy as possible before he sticks his head back inside and regenerates all of his health. You can't kill this guy by attacking the shell. So I'm actually glad you just have to attack him as quickly as possible. And good thing too, because this guy is a bitch and a half to deal with. And I got, I believe, Mog's ultimate weapon, Gungnir. Fortunately, I am basically done with this side of the dungeon, so I'm going to make my way to where I open the elixir. And there's a shady-looking door, space that looks like a door, so I'm gonna go in there. Also, I grabbed the Stardust Rod, that's Strago's ultimate weapon. And that teleporter leads absolutely nowhere. And another reason why is because I want to keep Terra's party as my primary boss-busting party. And there's a ribbon for us. You have to flip this switch by stepping on it. And now Terra and company can go inside. Yeah, I got Bot got Yojimbo'd. I'll go down there because down there contains Gao's ultimate weapon, quote unquote. By the way, the Bone Wrist is also Umaro's ultimate relic. And here's the final cluster of treasure chests in the entire game. Yep. We have 269 items, which means we have just one more item to go. And we want to deal, and and this is a pain in the ass battle with a bunch of status ailments you have to worry about. So I'm equipping the Ryan Esper onto Locke to try to get this fight over and done with. And I'm replacing the Miracle Shoes wherever applicable with Ribbons, because they have a ton of status effects, these 5 Flame Princesses. So I'm gonna just use them right away to cut the middleman. And I believe Flame Princesses have some very valuable shit to steal from them. You know, if you want to take your chances. But that's okay, And I got Shadow's ultimate weapon. That's all 270 items in the game. And by the way, I just teleport out of there and start it all over again from scratch. I'm gonna move Sabin's party first, so I can just get him and his team over and done with. And that switch opens up that door that takes us into the Kaiser's Breath. Remember Kefka's Tower? Well, you didn't get all 3 of your party members on these switches. However, we want Terra's party to go land on the switch last. And now, the next course of action is Terra's. Once again, I'm using Mog more as a marker, so I have no delusions in letting you guys know where they all are. But yeah, I actually have to motion the turtle closer to the center so I can do this. Alright, I'm trying to use Smog as a marker so I can figure out where to go. And this will be good for future reference when we come back here and we need to fight the Omega weapon. I'm not gonna have time to do that because the next boss takes so much longer to defeat than the Skull or Red Dragons. Yeah, I was just farting around with Mog for a while trying to figure out, okay, where do I go? How do I do this? And I just teleported Terra all the way here. Again, trying to use Mog as a marker. And now we were able to sell things with Terra. It is now time to get Mog into position as well. So yeah, there really isn't a whole lot for me to do. Just climb up these stairs. And now, here is the other path to the Dragon's Eye that leaves us with Terra. I'm gonna save my game here just in case. But I'm feeling pretty good about myself. I just have to go through and wonder, okay, is there anything I need to do? Is there anything to take into consideration? And so far, nothing's popping. You want everyone with Miracle Shoes, and you want everybody with Ultima Weapon and Paladin Shield. So you can absorb all the elemental damage this boss does to you. This is the toughest boss in the game. Or at least one of the 2 toughest bosses in the game. This guy has like 65,000 hit points and change. And has 5 phases where its hit points will reset each of those 5 times. The end result is it's like 65,535 hit points or something like that, times 5. Well, Dragonkind. And this boss took me about 10 minutes to beat. I am Kaiser, and your time is at an end. And this was actually a dummied out boss fight from Final Fantasy VI. And that was restored specifically in the Dragon's Den. And this is phase 1. First things first, I want Locke to steal the Celestiad. Edgar does the quad slash mat with the Ultima weapon. And Terra and Celes just cast Quick on themselves. And they just cast Ultima weapon twice. Honestly, I think it would have been faster just to have them just use Ultima once each. And then have Locke and Edgar fight them. So that's something for me to keep in mind for future reference. Because Kaiser Dragon does not change his shift until a character's turn comes to an end. So the first phase is Kaiser Dragon will gain one of 9 potential affinities. You'll have no affinity or one of the other 8 elemental affinities. You'll have either one of the 8 elemental affinities or none at all. And it's easy to tell what affinity he is based on the attacks he uses on his first, second, third turns, or even his counterattacks. So that's why I want everyone on Paladin shields, so they can either absorb or be immune to almost all of Kaiser Dragon's attacks. Now, there is a 10th form he has, but it's reserved for the 5th and final phase only. How will you know when you have shifted over to a new phase in the Kaiser Dragon boss fight? When he uses, when he you'll see. When he uses Barrier Shift is when he changes to his new form. So yes, unfortunately, Final Fantasy VI Advance's definition of a super tough boss is a super tough boss that takes a freakishly long time to defeat. Which ain't fun. It absolutely is not fun to deal with something like this on a regular basis. Notice too that Kaiser Dragon uses the same battle theme as the Warring Triad. But this is really meant to emphasize just how difficult they all are. By the way, he chose to be Ice Elemental. This is kind of bad because in the Ice Elemental, he will use attacks that will instantly freeze your party. So eventually, I'm going to have to... Alright, I used Barrier Change, so I already got past the second phase, that's good. However, I don't know what phase he is on because the only way to know is to wait for him to attack. Now, he could easily take care of the frozen status himself if he was Fire Elemental, but I don't know that. The fact that Meltdown did 0 damage to him is proof that he is not Fire or Ice Elemental at this point. If he was Ice Elemental, Meltdown would deal damage. If he was Fire Elemental, it would absorb damage. Wave Cannon, which basically means that he's Lightning Elemental. Especially since he seems to occasionally use it as a counterattack. And then dual cast Ultima. So this is the third phase of the fight. As I said, I probably would have done things a little differently and not involve Quick and Ultima weapon. If I thought about these things a little better. Okay, he used Barrier Shift, so this is the fourth phase. Southern Cross means he's Fire Elemental. You know, Southern Cross is a Fire Elemental attack. And, I think we are nearing the end of this battle already. Now, hypothetically, you can just one-shot all of his forms by using Master Scroll Genji Glove with dual Ultima weapons on everybody. But then, all of a sudden, those party members are susceptible to every elemental attack in the game, and you can no longer ensure half damage, and you can't have damage done against you. Okay, Meteor. Alright, Meteor is still part of his Fire Elemental script, by the way. So don't panic. In fact, Southern Cross is about ready to heal my whole party. Now I have to make my way back up to Ultima. And I believe we are about to enter Phase 5, which actually will guarantee that the Kaiser Dragon will enter its 10th formation, which uses power moves like Ultima. There it is. So now he's gonna be using power moves like I'm trying to think of it. Like Heartless Angel, Ultima, the work. So it's time for us to go all out. Flare, etc., etc. However, once we eliminate his health during this phase, he will basically close off by casting Ultima and then Flare on somebody, which will probably kill you if you are not guarded against magic attacks with shell and stuff. And there we go! This is the final attack, Ultima. Absolutely devastating your whole party. Which meant if we were not shelled with the miracle shoes, we would be dead. And that's it. And the prize for defeating him and conquering the Dragon's Den? We get this Magicite, the last one in the game. The Diabolos Magicite. And now, step on that save point and we are out of here. Congratulations, Kaiser Dragon's gone. Now you can face the Soul Shrine. West of Moblins, full of souls of fallen soldiers await. Why not pay the visits on time? Provided you conquer the Dragon's Den, you unlock the Soul Shrine, you can take on the Soul Shrine if you've beaten the game. So that's good to know. Alright, oh. And then I realized, you know what, let's unequip all our party members. And now let's talk to Terra. And we'll change our party members. And it looks like that's good to go for now. And let's go over all the items in our inventory. And now you might notice on the left HUD that I changed it to 213 items out of 270, but 270 is highlighted in gold. That's because we have all 270 items in the game, as I'm proving right here. However, there are still 57 items in this game that we have not yet reached maximum capacity at. And there are 2 places to go to max those items out. Well, 3 places. The Colosseum, the Soul Shrine, and Kefka's Tower via the duplication method. Now, we're past the 1 hour mark, but I still feel like I need to set myself up in a circumstance I would consider to be ideal. So I'm going to save my game right outside the old man's hut for my free inn, as well as for my grinding in Dinosaur Forest that I'll inevitably have to do. Because we are going to, in our next episode, take on our second full playthrough of this game to reset everyone's levels. So with all that said, I bid you all adieu. This is Mike Gorin, signing out.